I just realized this is a Blumhouse movie.
It's pronounced Blumhouse, you dumbass.
They did Get Out. Get Out was pretty cool. What else they do? They did The Purge. The Purge was alright. The first one. What else they do? They did Upgrade. Now, Upgrade was a breath of fresh air. Definitely. What else did they do? They did oh snap. Snip. I meant Split. Shit, they brought back M. Night Shyamalan. Did I say Snip? Hey, Snips. Anyway, let's review The Invisible Man. Snips.
Snips, I never said.
No, it's okay. I understand.
The Invisible Man. So The Invisible Man is about a woman who runs away from her abusive, controlling, toxic husband. And when she does that, he decides to fake his death, wear a suit that makes him invisible, and terrorize his wife with it. Saying the premise like that sounds really stupid, but the movie is not that stupid. Nah, just bear with me. So, right off the bat, the movie's well shot. And within the first 5 minutes of the movie, you know exactly what the movie's about. Not only that, the movie gets you exactly where it needs you to be within the first few minutes of this film. And all that's done with barely any dialogue and barely any music. And that, if you ask me, it's cinema at its best. It's the best example of show, don't tell.
He's not dead.
Yeah, I can't stress it enough. The director does a great job in setting tension, using camera movements and all. And if you ask me, if you can get me at the edge of my seat within the first few minutes of this movie, you got me. I'm in. Your movie's good. But, unfortunately, this movie is a yell at the screen kind of movie. You know what I mean by that, right? You know those kind of movies, right? Where the characters in it do a whole bunch of dumb shit repeatedly throughout the movie that you can't help but to yell at the screen. As if the characters in it are gonna stop what they're doing just to reply to your dumb ass. And I know, 99% of movies requires you to suspend your disbelief. So we do that naturally. But you see, in this movie, there's a man who wears a suit to become invisible. And I have no problem buying that. I can buy that. Okay, he's invisible. But why is it that I have a problem when normal characters in a movie have a conversation with one another? I'm like, that shit looks fake as hell. Like, I believe the invisible guys. I don't know what the hell you two talking about. Like, something's wrong. Do you get what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna keep this part for when I start spoiling the hell out of this movie. Just bear with me.
Hello?
So like I was saying, I like what the director did with this movie. The acting is pretty good for the most part. And the dialogue, even though it has this funny moment, it's still pretty good for the most part. And the pacing is really good. The movie only slows down when it has to, and it knows when to slow down. The tone is good also. It stays the same, which I can appreciate that in a horror film. There's no joke out of place. There's no weird scene that shouldn't be there. Basically what I'm saying is the movie was well thought out before the cameras came on. For example, jump scares. I really gotta praise them for their restraints in not using pointless jump scares. For real, for a film like that, a sci-fi horror, I was expecting jump scares all over the place. But they actually use them well in this movie. Like that beginning scene I was talking about earlier, when she's running away from her husband, she's picking up all of her stuff, getting ready to leave. And as she leaves, she kicks the dog ball. And the way they use that to make it into a jump scare, I really thought, you know what, well done. Wasn't pointless. I like that. It's natural. It fits in. So, I gotta give praise where praise is due. You've been warned. You ready? Let's go. So you see, we barely see her husband in this movie. As a matter of fact, we see him in the beginning, but it's really dark, and then we see him at the end, right? But here's the thing. There's a hospital scene in this movie, right? And in this hospital scene, the dude takes on a whole lot of security officers and police officers. Like, he takes them all on, right? And he takes on this guy. See this guy right here? This guy looks like a fatherless superhero. He takes him on, right? Nowhere in the film does he say that the guy has super strength. Or nowhere in the film does he say that the suit gives him super strength. But then you might say, yo man, you know, he's invisible, so obviously they can't see him. He's beating them up. But hold up a second. If something invisible is beating the shit out of you, but you have the ability to hold it down. If you are heavier than them, you can easily overpower them, right? Okay, maybe not. Because you're going to tell me the person's invisible, you know, the element of surprise and shock. Cool, I get it. Look, there's a scene in this movie, right, where he picks up his wife with one hand. So he holds the knife with one hand and picks her up with the other. He's a world leader in the field of optics.
He has figured out a way to be invisible. He is a world leader in the field of optics.
I mean, he's the invisible man. No one said he was John Cena.
You can't see me!
I mean, I'm saying, you actually see him at the end, properly lit up. And you're like, this guy took on this guy. Really? So here's another moment where I had to yell at the screen. So he's terrorizing her with this invisible suit, right? And one of the things he decides to do is send his wife's sister an email. A shitty email insulting her, cussing her, and all the bad stuff you can say to your sister, right? So eventually, the wife goes to see her sister. And the sister is like, lock off. I don't want shit to do with you. Bang, slams the door in her face. So you mean to tell me you went and pick her up when she was running from her husband? You know she has problems. She actually thinks that her husband is still alive, which he is, with an invisible suit, right? But the first thing you want to do because you receive a phony email is lock the door on your sister? Now I know sisters can be bitchy to one another, but I'm not buying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know damn well if you receive a funny email or a funny text from somebody, the first thing you're going to do is like, did you send me that? You know what I'm saying? You're going to say, oh, Steve, you're nitpicking, right? Okay, maybe I am. But I got another one. So like I said, there's an invisible man in this movie. And I have no problem buying that. But I can't buy the interaction between characters. There's another one. So she managed to get her sister to meet her in a public place. I think it's a bar or a restaurant or something, right? When she gets there, she wants to tell her about the invisible man. But guess what? The invisible man's there and he kills her. He kills the sister right in front of her. Not only that, he puts the knife in the wife's hand. Now everybody thinks the wife did it. So they think she killed her own sister. Now hold up a second. This camera's everywhere. So that's not gonna stick, first of all. And you mean to tell me that this guy, that's the world leader in optics, couldn't wait until the sister got out, got into her car, kill her in her car maybe, or wait till she get home, kill her there? You could literally get a free lift, sit down in the car, wait for her to get home, for her to get in, and kill her there. Nah, he kills her right there in front of everybody. And the knife actually floats right there for like a good 5 seconds. Nobody sees that. Then the knife kills the girl. Nobody see that. Then the knife flies back to her hand. Nobody see that. But obviously there's cameras. It's obvious the cameras see that. But you mean to tell me the invisible man thought, no, I'm gonna kill her right here. I don't buy that. See, I buy the invisible suit. Cool, but I don't buy the fact that he'll stand there and kill her there and not wait till she gets home. Or even outside. You gonna tell me I'm still nitpicking? I got another one. She eventually gets arrested. Obviously because they think she killed her sister. Or maybe they're just waiting for the tape from the restaurant. But anyway, she gets arrested. And they think she's crazy, right? So they put her in a mental home. In the mental home, they put her in a cell. And she's tied up to a bed. And guess what? The invisible man, her husband, is in there with her.
Surprise.
Now tell me if that's not the most stupidest shit you've ever seen. You mean to tell me that you're gonna stay in there the whole night with her? They just tied her up to a bed and drugged her, so they ain't coming back, right? So you mean to tell me you're gonna stay in there the whole night? You're gonna use the bathroom? Because if you do, and you flush it, they're gonna come running because they know she's tied up to a bed. She can't fucking flush. And if you don't flush, when they come in the next morning, they're gonna see somebody was in that shit. They're gonna see she's tied up. She's gonna say, I told you there was an invisible motherfucker around. Did you get it? Kind of falls apart a little bit. Is it just me? Am I still just nitpicking? Like I said, there's a man in this movie that wears a suit that makes him invisible. And I can buy that. But some of the interaction between the characters in this movie is so unbelievable. You want one more? Okay, one more. She eventually gets pregnant in this movie at some point, she gets raped by the Invisible Man. Now look, there is nothing funny about rape. Not even in movies. But, because I'm such a kid, I just couldn't help thinking. So when he was when he was trying to get her pregnant, do you think he took off the suit? Or did he have like a zipper and then, he just put it out? Be like a floating penis. I'm such a kid. So she's pregnant, right? And throughout the movie, they let you know that the husband wants her to keep that child. As a matter of fact, he's like, yo, if you keep the kid, your life will go back to normal. Just come back to me and blah, blah, blah. So we know that the husband got her pregnant, right? Fast forward to the end of the movie now. What the husband has done is that he pretended that the brother was the one who's been doing all the bullshit. And he has been kidnapped, right? So the police rescued him. And now he's free, scot-free. Nobody's suspecting anything because he's free. And they're all thinking it was his brother and his brother's dead. Cool. But she doesn't believe that, obviously. We don't either. The audience knows it was him. She knows it was him. So at the end of the movie, she goes to confront him. And she got a wire. And the cops are listening. See this guy? Yeah, he's a cop. He's listening. She got a wire. So she just wants a confession. She can get him in jail or whatever. So obviously, he denies the whole thing. Oh, it wasn't me. I was kidnapped. They find me locked up in a basement. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. He denies the hell out of it. I get it. That's fine. Do you know where my problem comes in? Not once does she say, so if it wasn't you, that means I'm carrying your brother's baby, right? Not once. Not even a mention. Matter of fact, you don't hear about that again in the whole movie. The movie ends. I could tell you how it ends, but I'm thinking, if you've been here watching this video and you haven't seen the film, which means you don't care, or you might watch it and think, you know what, let me go watch the movie now. So I'm not going to tell you exactly how it ends. But all you need to know is, she confronts the dude, her husband, right? That she's supposedly carrying her baby. That's an important part of the film. But no, it's not mentioned. All she had to say is, so if it's not you, I'm carrying your brother's baby then, right? Done deal. Nah, not once. You gonna tell me I'm nitpicking still? Okay, I think I'm rambling on too much about this movie, but to be honest, I would recommend this movie. It's a great little metaphor on domestic abuse. As in, a lot of people are being abused in relationships. You might know someone, you probably have been abused yourself. And sometimes it does feel like whoever's abusing is invisible because no one else can see it. Or you tell them and they won't believe it. Or no one's there to help. So I like that. I like a movie that can give you a little message that, with your own interpretation. Because that could just be my own. But it's a good message. I see it. The theme of the movies is really good. So don't take all my negative as if to say the movie's bad. Because it's not. It's good. For the most part. How many times did I say for the most part while talking about this film? Do you want me to rate this movie? Okay. It's a Sunday movie. Not a bad Sunday movie that you fall asleep to. It's more of a Sunday movie you watch when you ain't got shit to do. Okay, if you want, it's a Saturday movie. When you've already watched a film and you think, you know what, I might go watch another. Put on The Invisible Man. Peace.
That's M.Linez, bub. You're supposed to say thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, you fucker.